I love the way we call them freedom photos. There's kind of joy in that as well, isn't there?
Exactly.
Do send us in the things that you're enjoying. 6:32. Time to catch up with one of our regular breakfast GPs this morning to help us understand, as ever, the latest COVID developments.
It's Monday morning, so it must be the turn of Dr. Nigat Arif. Good morning to you. Lovely to have you with us again at the start of the week. Can we start, if possible, with the Indian variant of the virus, which has now been found in more than 70 people across both England and Scotland? What should the thoughts be around this morning?
So everyone's always really worried about variants. Actually, we need to think about variants as something that happens all the time with viruses. We know that it happens with flu viruses. So if we think about variants, the reason they happen is because the virus mutates in order to survive. It gets into a host body. It makes sure that it replicates millions and millions of times. And whenever that replication happens, you're going to get some DNA changes within that virus. And therefore, it allows it to survive. Usually, actually, a lot of these variants don't do a lot of harm at all, and they're not going to change the way that the virus behaves. But sometimes that virus, that variation that you get, means that it's actually stronger in the way that it spreads, and also can be stronger in the way that it infects people. So we have to think about variants as a way of that our behavior shouldn't change, because we know how viruses behave. We know that they cause temperatures. We know that it can be highly infectious. We know, sadly, on the end of it, they can cause extreme illness and also death. So therefore, making sure that we are covering our faces, washing our hands regularly, keeping physical distancing where possible, taking freedom photos as you like, that's brilliant, but actually make sure that you're doing it in a safe way, because we need to stay vigilant. The reason variants happen, the reason we've got the Indian virus, the reason we've got the South African variant as well, is because there's pockets of communities where actually there isn't a handle on the virus, and so it replicates. But the great thing is that we've got testing, which is happening, so that we in the UK, our testing and test and trace is so brilliant at the minute. We've got the lateral flow tests that are happening. So we're picking up asymptomatic patients who might be positive, who can then go on and have a PCR. They're self-isolating because they've picked up a test at home and they've noticed that they are positive. So as doctors, we've been doing them, and now the adult population can have access to them. And then on top of that, our vaccination program is fantastic. 32 million people are vaccinated. So again, it's all these measures that are going to keep a handle on the virus, but our behaviour shouldn't change.
OK, that's interesting to think about on a Monday morning. You talk a lot about the variants there, and you mentioned the vaccination programme and the success of that so far. Are the vaccines that we are all, many people are taking and millions are, that list you talk over 30 million now, are they effective against the variants that are out there, or will there be boosters required at some stage, maybe later on this year?
So in regards to whether the vaccine is going to be effective against the variants that we have at the minute, the vaccination programme is successful, and we are still waiting to see if it is going to have the protection that we need. But that's where our behaviour, like I was saying earlier, shouldn't change. And then whether we need boosters, yeah, definitely. I mean, the team at Oxford AstraZeneca, they're already looking at boosters, and they're thinking about getting any sort of variants that are happening in December time. So even before we started having the vaccination program rollout in 2020, towards the end of it in December, if you remember, the team at Oxford AstraZeneca, the scientists, have been really busy looking away, because the clever thing that we've been able to do now is we've been able to do DNA or RNA sampling on these viruses, which means that instead of being on the back foot, so if we think back to 2019 when the World Health Organization said test, well, we're doing that now. We're doing that fantastically well as at the minute. So if we are testing, we're picking up these variants early, we're looking at the DNA, then we can change that into the vaccine. And also the way that we administer vaccine is going to change. So in the future, instead of having an injection, there should be a nasal spray. So I think the way that we're going to deal with coronavirus is going to be really similar to how we deal with the flu virus. And it's going to be norm, but actually, again, our behaviour shouldn't change. And there's even more positive data coming out for women who are pregnant. So on the weekend, on the 17th, the JCVI and also the guidance from the Royal College of Obstetrics and Gynecology has been that pregnant mums should be offered the vaccine routinely, so the Pfizer and the Moderna vaccine. And that's because 90,000 pregnant mums have been vaccinated in the USA, and we've got this brilliant data that shows that no harm has come to the mum or the baby. So if anyone's out there that worried that I'm pregnant, do I have the vaccine or not? Actually, the data suggests it's absolutely safe for you to have the vaccine, and we're offering the Pfizer and the Moderna vaccine as it comes into the system as well. So even more positive steps are being taken.
OK, some good news from Monday morning. Dr Nigat Arif, thank you very much. Hope you have a fantastic week, and we'll see you again soon on the programme.
I have Buckinghamshire Air if anybody wants to.
Can I just check how much you're charging for that Buckinghamshire Air?
Do you know what? It's free. It's free. We have Chiltern
that's what we like about
so
you.
You know what?
Free.
A woman of the people.
Yeah, I've sent out some free Cornish a picture of a flag with wind, so that that's for free. You don't need to buy it in a bottle. Thanks, Nigat. See you soon.